Well, hello everyone, it's Kari back again with you to share some fantastic new finds. These are some chipboard tag kits that I have just fallen in love with. And I got a few of these from Cobblestone Creek Studios, and she sent me a few also to play with. So I wanted to share them with you and show you how to decorate these up, how to color them, and ideas for putting them together as well. I have a few here, and I also got these strawberries because I have something really fun in mind for that popsicle. So let's get started, and let me show you what comes in these kits. You get the top piece, an acrylic piece, and then multiple pieces to build up so you can make this into a shaker tag. So it comes with everything you need. All you have to do is decorate it any way you want. So I thought, let's give a couple of things a try today. I started off with some distress ink, but found that it just soaked into the chipboard. I even kind of pressed it into the ink pad, and the look wasn't as vibrant or happy as I wanted. So instead I went for the Distress Oxide inks, which stay above the chipboard much better, and they give a much better result in my opinion. Although you'll see later on, I do have a little bit of an issue with the oxides in certain colors. Now I'm going to take some pattern paper, and I'm just going to trace it along the back of the popsicle because I decided pattern paper would be really fun for the back of this shaker tag. So I'm just going to cut it to just inside that pencil mark, and then look, this is going to fit practically perfect there. And when we put this all together, there will be a nice little design element with that pattern paper. So I'm just going to take some liquid adhesive to attach this, and that is all that there is to creating this background. I also thought it would look really cool with a stencil design on there. I didn't try that today, but I have that on my radar for the future. Now all you're going to have to do is build up the layers, and I'm trying to figure out which layers are going to show through and which ones are not. So first I will glue this front piece to that acrylic. It's a nice thick acrylic. It's not just like a piece of acetate. It's thick. And so it's really great for building these up. These tags feel nice and substantial when you get them done. Like I said, they are a new love of mine. I might be a little bit obsessed with these kits. So now I'm going to glue together the back part and right here, just like this. And then the next piece, I realized some of the parts of that are going to show. And so I'm going to paint the pieces that are going to show underneath the top part and the acrylic piece. So the top of this shaker tag and also the very bottom part. So I have some acrylic paint in some pinks, and it's darker than the pink I used on the front. It's darker than that oxide, but it is still a nice pink shade. So I'm just going to put a couple of layers of acrylic paint on this. Now I didn't pre-prep this in any way for this one, although I will be trying that in a minute and showing you the difference of what you get. But I did add a couple of layers so that the chipboard did not show through at all. And this worked really well. So if you have acrylic paints or any kind of paints that you could use on this, pull those out. You can see I have a few pulled out here on the upper right corner, some different colors. And this was one of my favorite ways to color these up, was with acrylic paints. So I'm going to let that dry, and I actually took my heat tool to kind of coax that along because I was really impatient in getting this first one put together. But while that dries the rest of the way, I'm going to paint up a strawberry for this. I have some gesso here, and this is white gesso, and I just got this from my local craft store, and I'm going to prep the chipboard, excuse me, with that gesso. And what that's going to do is that's going to help to make this a non-porous surface. It will help to make that paint actually be a little bit brighter. It will appear a little brighter, or whatever ink you want to use on top of that. It really does help in preparing that surface. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to the lemon slice as well, or it could be lime or an orange, whatever you want it to be. And I'm going to prep the back portion of this. Once I got started on this, I realized I should have used a larger brush, or even a foam brush would have been a little faster. But I already had this in the gesso, so I just went with it and finished that off. And I'm also going to prep the front piece, because those are the pieces I'm going to color up with either ink or paint. And so I knew those two pieces were the ones I wanted to prepare with the gesso. You might have noticed this, I am using the packaging as a little protector for my surface so that I don't get any gesso on my work surface. That works great because I knew I wasn't going to keep these anyway, and it's perfect for a little paint palette. I'll finish that up and allow that to dry. I also did put a little gesso on the insides of those. And now that these are drying, I think the strawberry is ready for some additional paint. So here is where I'm going to add this dark pink paint to the strawberry. It's kind of like a hot pink, and I'm just gonna get that all throughout. I'm even gonna cover up the little seeds. I'm gonna make this entire thing just one strawberry color. And then I will also color up the little stem of the strawberry. And for that, I'm using some lime green paint. And look how bright these appear now with that gesso underneath. I think it works great either way, actually. So you can prep it or not. All right, the popsicle is completely dry, so let's put this together. I'm going to add this other layer. This is the one that we used the acrylic paint on. I'll add that, and now the walls are tall enough that you can add your shaker pieces. So there's lots of different shaker pieces you could use. I actually have a really great collection of sequins and shaker bits and all kinds of clay pieces. So pull out whatever you have in your stash. Also, there are so many beautiful mixes at Cobblestone Creek. I will link to her store so you can check that out as well if you want to. And so today I'm using a couple different mixes of this confetti, and these pinks match with all the pink colors I've been using. And now we can add that top layer. So this is the piece that has the acrylic on it, and this will close up the shaker tag. Now I want to make sure I get that lined up and then let that sit and dry before I shake it too much. So I put my acrylic block over the top, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my leaf to the strawberry, and I realized the stems didn't match up. It was supposed to go the opposite way, but no worries. I'm just going to cut off the stem from the strawberry and add the stem that I painted over the top. No one's ever going to know except for you and me. So now this can go over the top of the strawberry popsicle. I'm going to add it over here to the right bottom corner and allow that to dry as well. While that's drying, let's finish up the lemon. I will use some inks on this lemon. I'm going in with some squeezed lemonade Oxide ink on the back just to give it a little hint of yellow. And then I'm going to use that also on the front piece, and I'll darken it up with a little bit of the fossilized amber Distress Oxide. So see, look how cute this is coming together. So I'm going to go around the edges with that darker yellow color. And I just love how this turned out. I want to get more of these tags so I can make all the citrus. I think even a grapefruit one would be fun. All right, let's put this all together. So I'm building up that background. This piece is not going to really show from the front, so I didn't color it in any way. And then we'll add the next piece. This piece, just that little tag is going to show, and that's the piece that I used a little gesso on. There we go, just like that. We'll add that there and make sure that's all lined up. And then we can add our shaker pieces, or I'm sorry, we'll add the acrylic while that is drying. So I'm just going to go around the top piece with some liquid adhesive, add that to the acrylic piece, and again we'll let this dry. I decided to color the little hanging piece green because I thought that would be cute to match our leaf that I'm going to add a little bit later. So now it's time for some shaker pieces. I have this mix here that has some little clay lemon slices, and then it's got some little shaker bits that look like sprinkles in yellow and green. So I'm going to put all that together and set that aside. Now I know what you're thinking, and it's what I was thinking too. Can you use mica sprays or any kind of sprays? So I thought I'd give it a try through a stencil. And I pre-prepped this one with gesso, which may or may not have been a good idea, but I wanted that mica spray to really stand out. But it really did have a hard time drying, and you can see I didn't get a perfect result on some of those stars. And what I realized was after I put this tag together with the flip-flops, you really couldn't see the stars anyway. So this may be a step that you can skip. And on that piece that didn't appear to come out like a star at all, it just looks like a big blob, I end up gluing a sequin to that. So you'll never see that in the final result. So you can always fix anything, right? So I'm going to cover the front with the Distress Oxide. I sprayed the little straps with some green mica. So I'm going to put those over the front there. And then this is looking really good. But if I had my way, my flip-flops always have to have a little bit of bling, of course. So we're going to add these really shiny confetti pieces. And like I said, I glued one right over that blob. I glued a couple to the top, so when you shake it, there will always be some up at the top. And then I put all of this together, and now I'm going to add even more bling. Of course, I have to. So I brought out the gems, and I'm going to add some gems right over the top. I chose some light green gems to match the straps of these flip-flops, but how fun would it be to design all different colors of flip-flops? And look how cute that is. See, you barely see the stars. I guess they do add a little something. It's just so cute. Now here's the one I was using some oxides on. I wanted a light orange because I want to make some orange sherbet. But that dried marigold really didn't show up on the chipboard at all. So I went in with some darker orange. And again, it really was having a hard time showing up. I really think it didn't make that much of a difference. And so I'm going to try something different on this one. I keep trying to add more and more ink over the top just to make it a little brighter, but it really wasn't working out for me very well. So I brought in some pops of color here in an orange sherbet color, and I decided to try using this as a paint, which worked okay. I don't have any acrylic paint in orange. Apparently I don't use orange a lot. And so this is what I had, and it actually made it shinier, a little bit brighter of an orange, but like I said, I think if I had acrylic paint, I would have liked it better, but this turned out okay in the end. Wait till you see how this turns out. I'm going to finish painting that. I even painted the inside a little bit. And for the ice cream cone, I'm going to use some Vintage Photo Oxide. I think this is the Vintage Photo. No, Rusty Hinge. So I started out with the Rusty Hinge, and then I brought in some Vintage Photo to darken that up, just like that. So here's how it's turning out. I colored the back with some Oxide orange as well, and then I put some orange clay slices in there. I love these little clay slices. They're super cute. I added a little bit of some fall mix in there as well, just to make it sparkle even more. And then I'll put the top right over there. Now if you get a little bit of static cling, take a dryer sheet and just run that across the back of the acrylic, and that should help so that your sequins don't stick as much. I didn't have any problems on most of them except for this one. So this one I used a little dryer sheet to go over that acrylic. Now I'm going to add an orange slice to this so you know that it's orange sherbet. And I am going to also add a little gem to the center of that. I added a couple of the orange clay slices to the outside. So hopefully you can tell that is orange sherbet. Now here's a look at all of them that I made. Here's a little shell I did in a light pink. There's our ice cream cone that we just made. And that orange slice is from a Lawn Fawn set. I'll show you in a minute. There's our cute flip-flops. I just love those. There's the lemon, which, see, look at this. I added an orange blossom and a leaf that I colored half with a darker shade of ink. And that, I think, turned out really, really cute. There's our popsicle with the strawberry popsicle. By the way, those are my favorite. Johnny Pops, if you've ever had a strawberry Johnny Pop with chocolate on it. Oh my goodness. And then here's the little margarita glass I did. This one I colored with acrylic paints, and I used 3 different colors. You can see there's a purple flower in the middle there. And then maybe one of my favorites here is the cactus. I love this, and I had to add some cactus flowers and another little cactus down there also. Here's the sets that I used from Lawn Fawn. See, the cactus and the little cactus bloom came from that die, and then here's the lemon slice die that I used for the leaf on the lemon and the little orange slice. Now I still have this present left, a drink and a popsicle to make, and I thought that gift would make a really cute Christmas tag. So I'm going to probably do that one in Christmas colors. But there's a look at all our tags that, look how cute they turned out. I mean, and they're so fun to decorate, so fun to put together. I really, really enjoyed this, and I didn't know that I was going to love it as much as I do. But it's a pretty easy project. So again, I will link to Cobblestone Creek Studios below if you want to go check these all out. She has a whole bunch to choose from, and lots of shaker bits too. Thank you so much for stopping by. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.